Blue Stool number 35, Eric Ronis.
Thank you. Hi. Woo! This is the 7th year, I believe, of the Blue Stool. This would be my 7th Blue Stool talk. The title today is Being Both and Being Between and Moving Beyond Binaries. And yet it has nothing to do with gender. Or does it? I guess that'll become a question. So it's in 4 parts. Part 1 is called chess. I've been playing a lot of online chess recently. I like it because it's like a clean way to focus yourself, right? I have an objective, I have a kind of an enemy, I win or I lose, but it's focused. And then I was thinking about a Yoko Ono piece from 1966. Yoko Ono did a piece called White Chess Set. In this piece, all the pieces on the chess set are white. And Yoko Ono suggests play until you cannot remember which pieces are yours. It was an anti-war statement in 1966. And I think, that's a pretty cool piece. And then I thought, well, it feels today like sometimes we're at war. Just when we're having conversations about anything, right? It's all about, I win, you lose. And this came up it comes up for many of you, but I'm going to talk about the experience with the teachers' strike in Burlington. So some of you probably know the teachers had a strike, the Burlington teachers, about 2-3 weeks ago. And as I was following the debate, I was really mindful of the rhetoric, that the rhetoric was like, you're either with us or against us if you're the teachers, you're either with us or against us if you're whoever the other side was. It's very much about painting the other side as unreasonable, right? The teachers only want 10 cents an hour more, they're crazy, or something along those lines. Or the board of supervisors, or what do we call them? The board of ed. They're fascists, etc. That sort of rhetoric flies back and forth. And I found myself in the middle because I'm a fellow teacher and I am the father of a high school student. I am politically a strong supporter of unions and I am a Burlington taxpayer. So I have what's called intersectional identities. We don't normally think of intersectional identities being those sort of things, but indeed I had many sort of thoughts on this debate. And so I listened to both sides without a sense of trying to accuse the other side, of which I was both, of being unreasonable. It occurred to me that it is unlike chess, not black and white. But it's also not just white. And so, in that sense, Yoko Ono's attempt to take a duality and resolve it into a unity doesn't seem like where we need to go today. Instead, what strikes me is we can move beyond binaries the other way. What if the chess set had each particular piece painted a different color? Or even better, what if each chess piece was painted multicolors, in which that particular green actually appears on that particular piece also? There would be no sense of white or black. Everything is a lot. I mean, that kind of complexity is, I think, what we have to wrestle with today. So this leads me to part 2, which is called Vox. There was an article in Vox Online magazine, I'm not sure if you call Vox a magazine, that was shared with me by a faculty member. And I do a diversity, inclusion, and academics work. So this particular article was about how the author contests that universities, colleges like this one, exacerbate the wealth gap. That the values that a university is built on are upper middle class elitist values, and that there's a problem with that. There was a lot in this article that makes a lot of sense. And again, part of my identity was, let's talk about those people who do not come from a socioeconomically privileged background. Let's support them. But then I came upon the following phrase in this article, in which one of the upper middle class dismissible values was as follows: I come to college to expand my knowledge and understanding of the world. And I thought, yes, that's an elitist value. And so I found myself again on many sides of this same debate at the same time. And I understand that correctives are needed, but I don't think we need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because we're always both. And you yourself as students might be partisan in terms of a political debate, but you're also fellow classmates to the people who might be on the other side of you. So you have multiple identities that they have to be respected. How do we do this? Okay. Habermas, and I always try to talk about Jürgen Habermas in these Blue Stool talks, German theorist, champions something that he calls communicative action. He says that all people, all reasonable people, and let's assume most people are reasonable, even people you disagree with, have something to contribute to the public discussion, and that we can learn things from one another. That's like a really important thing. I did a series of interviews with students. I spoke with some of you last year around diversity and inclusion issues, and the only thing that every student agreed on, okay, was that we don't listen well enough. Here are some quotes. These are from your peers. Can we avoid defensiveness and make room for conversation, like not just argument? Let's be open to mutual conversation. It's not just you have to understand me. What is helpful to build a discussion together? The point shouldn't be just to win. Safe means that I can speak honestly and that you will listen to understand me and not just rebut me. And I heard this from students from all sides of the political spectrum, all backgrounds and identities. It was something everyone could agree on. And yet, we're not really doing a very good job of it. And it's hard, okay? In my own interviews with faculty last year, I'm looking at CHOP, I spoke with faculty, some of whom have opinions really different than mine. Okay? I tend to be a progressive liberal. Some faculty had very conservative views. Some people were even much further, sort of on that extreme to the left, than I am. And it was a challenge for me to listen to those people non-judgmentally, but authentically, and actually take in what they have to say, and not be like, oh my God, you're so unreasonable, dismiss. Okay? And I learned so much. It was so valuable, and it occurred to me because part of my identity was I am a colleague here, as well as someone who has my own political opinions. So again, I encourage you as students to think of yourself when you're having some sort of partisan discussion in a classroom, to think of yourself as I'm a member of a community. This is a fellow classmate, even if I don't agree with them. And so I've written a manifesto. It's 1 minute long. It's good. Non-judgmental listening should not be a threat to our beliefs or our values. If our beliefs and values are that fragile, then they are not really worth holding on to. Interrogating conflicting ideas is part of being educated. And this does not mean an abdication of one's personal values, but a refining of said values. This is not a call for moderating your views, but for informing your views, wrestling with them, and maybe they will even emerge stronger than before. They did with me. Listening to others is key. Understanding a different perspective is not a weakness. It's the only way we expand our knowledge of the world. Because sometimes you really do need to see the trees to appreciate the forest. That's what I got.